Good day! Now we are going to present our case study that is focusing more on writing skills. For our topics, we have visuals and materials, goals and objectives, and progress monitoring. For visuals and materials, visual aids such as alphabet charts, letter formation guides, and writing worksheets will be utilized to support instruction and provide multi-sensory learning experiences. So at this point, we provide visuals and materials to support and enhance the skills of our pupil and to monitor his progress and writing skills. So here's are some materials that we utilize. First, we have alphabet charts. The second one is the letter formation guides. And of course, the writing worksheets. And now let's proceed to goals and objectives. We set these goals and objectives to achieve our expectations at the end of our remedial class. First, for our general goal, to help a grade 1 pupil master the writing of the alphabet. And of course, the specific problem, the grade 1 pupils struggle with letter formation, directionality, and consistency in writing the alphabet. And for our expected outcome, by the end of the remedial instruction period, the grade 1 pupil is expected to demonstrate improved handwriting skills, including accurate letter formation, proper directionality, and increased legibility when writing the alphabet.
So now, let's move on to our progress monitoring. So we have here the number of activity or the assessment, the date, the activity, the score, and the description of performance. So in our first row, we have here the date, February 8, 2024. This is our first meeting, and this is our meet and greet. So in this, for the description of performance, in this day, we get to know the pupil and his parents, explaining what is the remedial class and its advantage to its child's learning. So, in the next row, we have here February 9, 2024. So, in this date, this is when the pre-assessment and the signing of the parent consent happen. So, in this day, it is where the testing and writing of witnesses of the pupil and asking the approval of the parents and allowing his or her child to be our case in our remedial class. So the next row is where our activity starts. So the first and the second activity, the first activity happens on February 16, 2024, and the second activity happens on February 23, 2024. So those activities was focused on the class introduction to proper pencil grip and posture for the writing skills of our student. So in this activity, we are using the criteria. So the score of the pupil is 6, and it indicates a fair score. So 6 is the pupil's writing shows significant weaknesses in proper pencil grip and posture for writing, which requires improvement. And the next row is the activity 3 and 4. So the date of these activities, the third activity happens on March 1, 2024, and the fourth activity happens on March 8, 2024. So this activity focuses on the practice on forming straight lines and curves. So the score in this activity, using again the criteria, is 10, which indicates good. So good refers to pupils writing generally meets expectations but may have some areas it requires improvement. And now let's move on to the fifth and the sixth activity. So the fifth activity happens on March 15, 2024 and March 22, 2024. So this activities focuses on the class introduction to lowercase letters and practice letter formation. So the pupil got a 12 score, which indicates a good performance. So the pupil's writing, especially in tracing lowercase letters, is good, but may have some areas that requires improvement. So for our 7th and 8th activity, so the 7th activity happens on March 29, 2024, and the 8th activity happens on April 5, 2024. So these activities focuses on the practice writing on lines, and the introduction to writing on rolled paper. So the student uses a paper in writing. So the student got 11 score that indicates good. So the pupil writing in rolled paper is good, but it requires some effort to improve because there's other letters that overlaps on the line of the paper. So in April 11, 2024, this is where our mid-assessment happened. So in this day, the pupil was tested if there is any improvement on his knowledge and skills throughout the lessons. So now let's move on to the 9th and 10th activity. So the 9th activity happens on April 12, 2024. And the 10th activity happens on April 19, 2024. So this activities focuses on the emphasis on letter size and the consistency. So it focuses more on the if the letters are the same, or the smallest letters or the biggest letters have consistency in their size. So this each day have one activity. So the first activity, our pupil got 7, which indicates a fair grade. And on our second activity, the student got 11, or which indicates a good grade. So the first activity, there's lacking of consistency in letter size, so based again in our criteria. And then the second activity, his writing was improved, and although few letters are not that consistent. So let's move on to our last activities, which is the 11th and the 12th activity. So our last activity happens on May 3, 2024, but our 11th activity happens on April 26, 2024. So this activity focuses on the review and reinforcement of handwriting skills to be learned. So the score of our pupil is 13, which is an excellent one. So in this day, it shows that our pupil's writing was truly improving, applying all the proper ways of writing and knowing the proper letter formations. So in this day, it tested his learnings and knowledge and apply it on this activity that we've given to him. So on May 4, 2024, we gave him his final assessment, and it shows that that he's good in, or he's improving in his writing skills. There's an improvement in his writing skills. The pupil was tested if there's truly learning and development of skills acquired as the class ends. So in our class, there's truly an improvement, and we can say that our pupil learn and have acquired knowledge from our teaching. So here is our criteria in testing the writing skills or the writing capability of our student. So for our scoring, it indicates that 16 to 13 is an excellent grade, which means that writing demonstration demonstrates strong proficiency in all aspects assessed. And the next is the 12 to 9 is good, which means that writing generally meets expectations but may have some areas for improvement. And 8 to 5 is fair, which means that writing shows significant weaknesses in one or more areas and requires improvement. And the last one is the 4 to 1, which needs an improvement. Writing lacks proficiency in multiple areas and requires substantial interventions. So that will be all for our presentation, and have a good day.